Hi, I'm Silva.
And I'm Angela Rogers, and welcome to Harder Than We Thought.
We're two best friends that banter like sisters. We share our unique perspectives on life, careers, and everything in between.
This podcast is informative, entertaining, and downright hilarious.
We're the best friend duo you never knew you needed.
So we are back another week, and it is the top of the year. So what better way to kick off the top of the year than to talk about New Year, New Me, right?
I love a good
resolutions.
New Year, New Me.
2024, what are your resolutions? Well, before you tell me, right, let's look at resolutions, because a lot of people say they set these resolutions, or other people are like they don't believe in them or whatever it is. But a resolution by Oxford Dictionary says a firm decision to do or not to do something.
Okay.
Right? So differentiating that from a goal or a objective.
I think resolutions are unrealistic because it puts you in this position to all of a sudden like cold turkey whatever it is that you're doing, or catapulting you from 0 to 100. Mm-hmm. That sometimes in January, everyone just kind of falls off these resolutions after 2 weeks instead of gradually working your way up like a goal.
Yeah.
Like the last time I did a resolution, I was 16 years old. And this resolution I actually stuck to. So when I was in high school, I decided to have a resolution that I was going to stop eating ground beef. Uh-huh. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if it was like...
Wait, just ground beef or beef? So you could eat steak?
Beef.
Oh, okay.
In general.
Okay.
But I used to eat a lot of ground beef back then. Like, I loved tacos and like spaghetti with bolognese, like ground beef.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to turkey, like ground turkey. So
that's also a trend too. Everyone's like, "Oh, beef is so bad."
Yeah,
turkey burger.
Everybody used turkey burgers, so I went on to turkey. But anyway, I was 16 years old, and I don't know what possessed me, but the new year, and I was like, in high school, everyone was like, "What's your resolution?" I was like, "I'm gonna get healthier and stop eating red meat," and I stopped.
That's really good.
So, but ever since then, I've never had a resolution that I could possibly stick to. I just don't think that they are realistic.
I don't know. I thought in my 20s I had resolutions. I would do the resolution. I would, write it down or think about it and like have some type of ritual to basically kick off the resolution, like on New Year's Eve. So I would say like, I would try not to curse as much, or I would work out. I mean, some of the basic ones, like I'm gonna get in shape this year. But it was resolutions more so like that. But
did you stick to any?
No, because I just you just forget them. I mean, whether or not you kind of like, let's say working out, like okay, like I mean, I work out for the most part anyhow, so I don't know if I was doing a specific thing then. But no, I'm not good with resolutions. I do think it's good to like set intentions though, right?
But what do you think about the resolution that you're not good at? Like, do you think it's just because it's literally, not to keep using this word catapult, but like it's catapulting you to go from 0 to 100? Like it's like, okay, if I'm going to stop drinking, you stop drinking now. That's it.
See, I hate dry January. When everyone does dry January,
it
bothers me so much.
It bothers me so much.
Like, just drink if you want, don't if you don't. Like, everyone, when they go to that extreme, like, I hate when I go to dinner with someone, they're like, oh, I'm not drinking for 30 days. I'm like, really?
That's the word I was looking for. I think resolutions are extreme.
Like, next week, I should say, the month of January, not even the month of January, the first 2 weeks of January, the gym is going to be packed.
It's going to be packed. So crowded.
You know what I mean?
It's so annoying.
And I guess it's nice to be like, okay, I'll see you over there.
But it's going to be... Let me tell you what's going to happen. People who don't work out, they're going to reset. They're going to go into wellness. They're going to say, January, this is my year. Half of these people are going to quit. And I'm not here to be negative.
Yeah.
But your body's going to hurt you by the second day. You're going to be super sore. By the fifth day, you're going to say, you know what, fuck this. I just want to be out of shape. Like, this is what happens because of this resolution. I think instead you should really just have goals.
Or sometimes people need that like firm start, like to be like, I'm going to set this resolution on this day, because mentally I think it makes them feel forced to do it.
Okay, then, but that's still a goal, isn't it? Like, you can write down your goals and say, okay, on this day, January 3rd, because, the first you're hungover, the second you need to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, January 3rd, I'm going to start my goals.
Monday.
Yeah, this first Monday, I want to be in the gym 3 days a week. But then I think to help your goal, and I really think that you need to flush these things out, you need some accountability for someone to help you go to the gym all the time.
Yeah,
Get a
accountability
buddy,
partners are good.
get a partner, get a trainer, get someone that will help you achieve your goals.
Are we discouraging people from having resolutions?
No, because I think that there's a difference between resolutions and goals.
Okay. So we're saying for 2024, let's just be intentional.
Okay, yes. I think that's
just like I feel like, yeah, that's more of a, you know how everyone's talking about quiet luxury or all these words, like, you know what I mean? They're like popular right now. Basically, we can still, it's still a resolution because it did say a firm decision to do or not to do something. So let's just be intentional with ourselves.
I think being intentional. Okay, so speaking of being intentional, now that we've put those terms out there, goals, resolutions, intentional, where do you see yourself going in 2024? Like, what are some of these goals that you would like to achieve?
You know what I'm going to be intentional about? And it's, again, it falls into the resolution, I guess, to myself. But I am trying to be more intentional about my wellness, right? Like really, really making it a priority every morning to set that time out, because like this morning I did not do it. You know what I mean? But 2 days ago I did. So I do it maybe about 5 days a week, but I actually want to do it every day.
But do what? What are you referring to?
Just like my meditation. You know, I have got in a really good space of not looking at my phone, like emails, because that's what I do. As soon as I wake up, I'll look at emails just so I can gauge what my mood's going to be when I'm about to like get ready for the gym. Like, am I going to be annoyed because I already got these emails from someone asking about this or something that's happening? I really do need to just wake up, get those 10 to 15 minutes in by myself, then look at my phone. Because what happens is I really will, like when I'm using the restroom, when I'm putting my clothes on to go work out, I'm already thinking about being annoyed because I saw some email that pissed me off.
I really disagree with people looking at their phone when they first wake up.
Yeah.
I honestly think you shouldn't look at your phone for the first hour.
Yeah.
I think because when you look at the phone, and a lot of people are immediately, they're scrolling social. You're putting, first of all, as soon as you wake up in the morning, your thoughts need to be clean, clear, and visualize exactly how you want your day to go. They need to be about you. They need to be more intentional. And I think when you're looking at your phone, you're automatically setting the tone for how you feel about yourself and how you feel about the day. I also think social media is a lot of fluff, and it is a highlight reel of a lot of people's lifestyles. So if you're immediately going on there, like let's say New Year's, you're going to start seeing everybody's New Year's Eve photos the next day in January. And you're like, this person was on a yacht and so-and-so. This person was in St. Bart. Immediately you're like, I didn't do shit.
Yeah.
You feel like shit about yourself. Like, you got to really take the moment to wake up. Be intentional. Write down what you're grateful for. Really just focus on what you see and want for your day and for yourself.
Yeah.
I really try my best not to check the phone as soon as I wake up in the morning.
You're good with that.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying. Your morning routine is really great because I think that the schedule that you're on with waking up, you know, getting a good hour in before your kids wake up, like you're very much like that is your morning routine. Wake up, make it about you, you know, get your mind right for the day. Having that alone me time is so important.
I think it's really important.
And like, yeah, like I feel like that's good because you, like I said, it just kind of has to happen because your kids are there too. So
I just think it's chaotic to wake up in chaos. Like your alarm goes off, you're startled, you're waking up, and then you're running to your kid's room like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Then you're running downstairs, you're making lunch. It's like, I don't want to start my day off in such a chaotic way. I remember I shared like what I do in the morning and how I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which I've kind of fallen back on. And I'm like, I need to get back in the 5 a.m. club. And this woman said to me,
why does anyone want to be in the 5 a.m. club?
I love the 5 a.m. club. It just feels very productive
shooting for that
to me.
6 a.m. club.
It feels very productive to me. But this woman was like, you're so unrealistic. Like, not everyone has the luxury of doing these things. And then I read this quote the other day that was like, if you want something bad enough, you set the time for it. So is it the luxury that I have that I woke up an hour early? Or is it because she's exhausted? Like, I was trying to see it from her perspective.
Yeah.
Is it because she's exhausted and she's not getting enough sleep at night?
Yeah.
Or is it she just doesn't want it bad enough, so she hasn't set the tone or the priority for it? So, like, leading back into it, like, I think you just need to find that space that makes you calm and put your priorities together, like things that are more intentional at the end of the day.
That's what I'm aiming for in 2024. When I say focusing on wellness, like that starts with my morning routine. Also just in general, like how I see things. I'm trying to really live a life where I don't have to control everything, because the need for control is making the anxiety that I have that much more greater. And so that's why it's like 2024 is really going to be focusing on my well-being, mentally where I am, like, you know, just like really focusing on me and things that I want to change. I really do strive to be a very self-aware person. So for me, I want to, like, I'm aware of the control that I have. I'm aware of the effect that has on my day and my overall life.
You are very self-aware with those things.
Yeah.
About yourself, I have noticed, like, you know what the issue is.
I do know what the issue is, but it's really about trying to really overcome it, right? And I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts, not necessarily podcasts, but like audiobooks and different video clips from like different doctors.
Like who?
Like Dr. Joe Dispenza,
Dispenza.
who I love.
We
like,
love him.
We're going to go on this retreat, guys. We would tell you about it. But in 2024, we're going to go on this retreat. But I just like love him. But he really tries to get you to rewire your brain and how you think about things. But a lot of it, he says, it's like about overcoming emotions. You can't just say, I am think positive. I'm happy. It's not about that. It's really about overcoming the emotion that's tied to certain situations, because as he says, thoughts are the language of the brain, and emotions are the language of the body. But just really thinking about that. So again, like 2024 for me, my intentions are going to be to focus a lot on bettering myself.
Okay.
And you know,
do you think that your thoughts control you versus you controlling your thoughts?
Yes, because your thoughts control your reality. So it works for me, it's the opposite. I allow my thoughts to control how I see things, like my perception of things.
Which is what most people do.
Yeah.
We get in our head and you start running with it. You're like, you fixate on the one particular thought and you keep on going. So that goes back to your thoughts are controlling you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easy. I mean, it's easier said than done to be like, no, I'm going to switch it. But it really is difficult to be like, no, I need to control my thoughts and rewire the brain and think differently.
Because I know I've been listening to this guy for like months, and I know exactly what I need to do. But the practice of actually doing it to get there is what takes work. And also it can be very frustrating because like you know what it is. And sometimes I feel like the battle of getting there when I know what I need to do ends up making me more frustrated and more anxious, because I feel like it's like a struggle that I'm having.
Why? Because you don't know where to start?
No, I know where to start, but it's like conditioning your brain is not something you just snap and do just because you read that this is what you're supposed to do.
No, yeah, it's hard.
You have to actually like really get out of the habit of how you see things and how you view things, and getting out of that habit in your own head, that takes so much work. So it's like, I kind of correlate it to being a child, and you're trying to learn how to like add and subtract, like something simple. But as a child, you're just learning it. So, you know, when children have an issue and they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's you know, you're trying to teach the person, they just don't get it. That is the issue in the process that I'm going through right now. So
well, the brain is a muscle, and it's something that you need to practice and work out on. Like I completely understand.
Yeah. So that's me. What about you? What are your intentions?
I have so many. I mean, I always have so many goals. I'm a very goal-oriented person. Especially as I've gotten older, I've completely changed with being a little bit more intentional, more organized. I'm someone who's like a scatterbrain, and I'm all over the place, and it's really hard for me to, I have so many thoughts that I need to start writing them down. So I'm really trying to get into a habit of journaling every single day instead of sporadically. Meditating every single morning. These are all the things that I want from waking up in the 5 a.m. club. Like my 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., I really want it to just be about me, quiet in the house, stillness. So I just made Angela get a bullet journal.
I know.
I am always on TikTok or YouTube, and I'm looking at these like 18 to 20-year-old girls with these bullet journals, and they make these bullet journals look so gorgeous, so beautiful. It's all like picturesque.
I'm trying to figure it out. So we bought the journals. She's like, we went to Michael's, and she's like, we need this, we need that, why do we need a ruler?
We need
Why
rulers.
do we need a ruler?
We need rulers, markers, because I'm influenced by 18-year-old
So why do we need
girls.
a ruler though?
Because it's like the lines need to be straight and perfect. You don't.
Okay.
Here's the thing about bullet journaling, which I'm realizing. I'm not very artistic in a way that I can draw. Like, I just don't. That's just not how I am. Do I need some highlighters? Yes. Do I need the ruler? Not really. I feel like
I was just making lines because I was like we have the ruler.
But I do like to open up my journal and see that it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I think now with the bullet journal, I think we just got to get used to it and do what works for you. Yeah. Like, I don't.
Take you back to like we have all the colors, like highlighters. We have all the pretty color pens, like purple, pink. It's like Lisa Frank when you like your first day of school. You're like, that's what I felt like yesterday when I was at your table, like about to start making my journal. I was like, this is so like
Angela was sitting there and she's like, where do I start?
And I was like, wait, what's on your first page?
Like,
what's on your second page? What's on your third page?
So the thing is, when you have a journal and it's empty like that, you're like, well, where do I start? So you need prompts, right? I think prompts really help you with journaling. So the prompts would be like questions to ask you that will help you with some feeling and some emotion. So I think it is helpful to Google these prompts, like Google gratitude prompts, Google. So what's in my journal? Always write down what you're grateful for. Remember, like, the smallest little things to be grateful for. The universe recognizes gratitude and will continue to bless you with more abundance. So I always write down 3 things I'm grateful for. Visualization. Visualization not only works in the brain, but obviously when you're writing it out. I'm into this 3-6-9 method, which we talked about in our manifestation podcast. You guys can go back and look at that. Or the
3-6-9 method I'm going to do.
3-6-9 method. Goals. So obviously what we're here for. So the goals for me really are to focus more on media, which we're doing now. Obviously this podcast is something that I think I'm very happy that we started.
Me too.
Finally, after all this time. But I really think that we need to be more intentional with it. Like, her and I would be like, so what are we talking about? And we're going to do it in a cab on the way over here, or in the car on the way over here. Like, what are we going to talk about today? And instead, I think we need to be more intentional with being organized, even if that means like we have to hire someone and having a spreadsheet.
We do hire. We have a producer.
We do, but we don't put things in a spreadsheet and know, like, hey, January 2nd, we're going to be talking about this, this, and this, and
we're very sporadic.
We're very sporadic, but I think that
having 2 people who are sporadic. I mean, who's going to be the person kicking us into shape?
It's very hard.
The 2 of us,
especially when we're both very busy.
Yeah.
I just think that when you're organized and intentional with these things, you can go so much further. It's kind of like, it reminds me of being in school. I know I'm I'm a good creative writer. So creative writing, back in English, I'm capable of giving an A.
Yeah.
But because I am so last minute and procrastinate and I'm not very organized, I'm going to throw you some bullshit and get a C+. And I'm going to be like, okay. But I could have done so much better.
Yeah.
I could have gotten an A had I have been organized. And it's like the same thing here.
Got it.
So being more intentional, being more organized, like making sure all of our video clips are corresponding with like the calendar, knowing that it's going to automatically start posting on its own, having someone go through those things. I think for us, instead of the last minute scramble, like that is definitely high on my.
I really, really want you to get on that.
You think? See, like you see, I'm alone
because I need you to really do that. Because I think that I'm glad that that's one of your intentions.
I think that this should be your intention too.
Let me. I take lead and I will follow.
This is a good podcast, guys. I think like we're so the same but so different.
Yes, and I'm excited about this one for you. I'm excited about this.
I can't handle you.
Need to be more intentional about that.
Okay,
what we're doing.
We need to do it together. We're a team.
Yeah, you lead. I will follow.
Okay, I'll follow. Okay, so that's one of my goals, and then obviously media. I definitely want to like kick up the more family vlogging. Really help London with her career. Let's see. I also have this show going on, Roni. Like,
you're going to start taping again.
I'm going to start taping very soon for that. I just think that I have so much on my plate. that I need to just be more intentional and organized. Growing. I need to grow my team. I just want to grow my team.
How do you feel like? Do you feel like what your goals are, your intentions are for 2024? You're going to challenge yourself more.
Yeah, I think so. Because if I don't challenge myself, I'm not going to grow to my highest potential. And I like challenges, though.
You do.
I'm okay with being uncomfortable. Like, I think when you are in moments where you are uncomfortable, you grow from them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not afraid of fear. I'm not afraid of failure. Let me put it that way. I think the most successful businessmen have failed at least once in their life. I think people are very scared of failure. But at the end of the day, like in life, you're supposed to learn from failure and grow and take away and grow from it. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being challenged. I like that. I like change at the end of the day. So like my career for me is perfect because I like to do different things all the time. I never know where it's going to go, what country I'm going to travel to. Like this is right up my alley. But being sporadic or a brand saying, hey, can you go to Tokyo next week? I'm like, I'm available. Sure, I'll make it work. So for me, these kinds of things, I don't know. They work for me.
Okay. Well, the good thing is wherever we are in 2024, we always can give ourselves, and this is for all of us, right? Like personally, give yourself grace, allow for resets, allow to refresh yourself. Like those things are important. I think, you know, one thing is important when you're being intentional about something or you have a resolution, whatever that may be, that you don't, when you fall short, you're not too hard on yourself. Right? Because I think that can be difficult for people.
I think
too.
Everyone is hard on themselves. And I think it's very difficult to get out of that mindset. I think we're all constantly, I can't say everyone, but I mean, I definitely even know for me, like body. Like I went to Angela last night and I'm like, look at my neck. Like I'm starting to get wrinkles on my neck and I'm really uncomfortable with it. Like it's really bothering me. And I tell her all the time on the phone, it's just like, I don't see it. So last night I literally was like, look at my neck.
Yeah.
And
I saw it because you were running your fingers over your neck so your skin was bunching together. So I was like, I mean, yeah, I see what you mean. But then
I think for me, it's because I'm constantly in front of the camera. Yeah. So to see myself, I'm getting older. I'm going to change.
Yeah.
But I need to be okay with that. I need to be okay with aging. And it is I think I'm going to work on that this year. It's very difficult. I think we all need to learn how to be kind to ourselves. Like, it's okay to age, but I think we live in this society where we constantly see it caters to youth.
Yeah.
It caters to...
Especially with women.
Especially in the beauty industry. It's catered to supple, beautiful skin and youthful women. And it's just, sometimes it just makes me feel like, okay, I know we're getting older. It's a blessing to get older, but are we discarded as women? Like, so I think this year, 2024, I really want to take a moment to, like, be kinder to myself, even with my body. Like, there are times that I try things on, I'm like, ugh, I'm out of shape. My legs have all this cellulite on it or something like that. I'm like, well, I have a great body. What am I complaining about? Like, just everyone take a moment to be kind to yourself. At the end of the day, I know some of the most gorgeous models I have met, and they shit on themselves. And I'm like, you don't have an ounce of fat. You don't have a waist. You have not, like, and they're these young, beautiful girls, but we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And when we don't realize it, because no one's really talking about it.
Yeah, so true.
So I think that's another takeaway. If you're listening, like, please be kind to yourself in
2024. Be kind to yourself. Set your intentions. You know,
go to seminars, listen to more podcasts.
Work out, do your dry January. Whatever you want to do it. But give yourself grace if you fall short, for sure.
Which is completely fine. Wait, there was a thought that I just had. It kind of went in and went out because of dry January. What's the purpose of dry January?
I don't know. I've never done it, so I don't know. Is the purpose just because you want to detox?
Is it reset?
Maybe. I don't know. You have to ask someone who does dry January. I've never done it.
I'm not.
Is it for the purpose of resetting, or is it because you're just like, oh, I just want to give myself a resolution and this will be it?
I would like to stop drinking. Like, not completely, but I would like to stop having a glass of wine at home at night. Like, why am I doing that every single night?
But you don't do it every single night.
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh. I feel like you don't drink that much.
I think I cap
You
off
used to
at.
drink a lot when you were younger, but now I feel like you don't really
Oh,
drink
guys,
that
when I
much.
was younger, I used to drink so much.
Yeah, but
I
now
think I
I'm
was
like,
a
you're not that-
bartender. I know, but I just feel like shit after. If I
Are
had.
you gonna say you're gonna do dry January?
No, I'm not going to do dry
Okay, good, 'cause
January.
that would annoy me.
It's just that anything after 2 glasses, I'm kind of like, what am I doing here? Or, for example, I was on the plane 2 days ago, and I was just drinking this big cup of red wine in a plastic cup, watching a movie, and it was the most disgusting red wine. But here I was
know.
just drinking it.
But you know what? I do that
Why?
all the time, and you know what it is? It's like you'll go to a restaurant, you're like, this is terrible. You're like, go to the store and not want to buy the cheap bottle of wine because I'm a snob when it comes to my wine. So I will be like, I don't know, this is like cheap wine. But for some reason, I'm on the plane. I know this is some cheap wine. I know this is not good
You know
wine.
it's disgusting.
But I don't know what it is when I'm on a plane. I like to, especially if it's a late flight, I like to have my wine and watch TV. Something about it in this little plastic cup. I'm
It's a
just like,
ritual.
yeah, and I know some cheap ass wine,
It's disgusting. But sometimes they're like, hey,
but I like it. I mean, one time they gave it to me, it was all cold and had bubbles. I'm like, what is this?
what is
I don't
this?
know,
And you
but
still drink
I
it.
just want to watch a movie and have my wine and be on my plane and be on the flight. I just feel like it's something about
be
it.
on your plane. I like
Be on
that
my-
intention.
be on
Can I
my
be on your
plane.
plane too?
Yes.
It's a lovely intention. Well, I mean, that's the thing. So it's like
usually
things
invite
like
5
that I
other
don't think are necessary to drink. Like, okay, so I just went to Prague with our friend. We have a friend named Lauren. Actually, she's my friend. I introduced you to
Yeah.
her. But she used to drink so much. She's British. You know, the Brits love to drink.
She
And
doesn't drink anymore?
no, not at all.
Oh, wow.
Not
I
at
need to
all.
stop hanging out with her because now all of a sudden you came back from Prague and we went to dinner the other night. She's like, yeah, I'm not drinking.
I was the only person at the table. There was also men there because we were there to.
Oh, Simon doesn't drink either?
So no one. It was Simon.
need
It was
new
actually
friends.
four other guys
You
that were
need
at the
new
table.
friends.
I was the only one drinking. I only had 1 glass of red wine, but I still was like, wait, when did people really stop drinking? And even in New York, there are non-alcoholic bars now. There's so many non-alcoholic drinks, Gia, Seed Lip. There's so many mocktails now
There is
that are very popular. Like this non-drink movement is popular.
So one of my girlfriends, she just had a birthday dinner, and she had it sponsored by this wine company. It's called, they carry it at Erewhon, LeBlanc, right? I think it was called LeBlanc. Yeah, it was called LeBlanc. So for me, I didn't know that there wasn't going to be any alcohol at this brunch. And they had like a rosé, they did a mocktail, they did a brut, a champagne. And you know, they had all 3 glasses at our setting. So for me, I'm just like, all I drink is really water. I'm a very, very big water drinker. And then other than that, like I'll have wine or tequila. So if I'm going to drink alcohol, I'm drinking alcohol. If I'm going to drink
Right.
something other than water, I don't waste my calories drinking like orange juice or like fruity cocktails and all that. So when people drink mocktails, I'm like, why are you wasting your calories? Like, it's like all this sugar. I'd rather have a donut.
I love a yummy mocktail.
I'd rather have a donut.
If
Like,
it's
I don't
not
want a
too
mocktail.
sweet, I don't like sweet drinks. I like things that like soda water with strawberries, mint, a little tiny bit of agave.
I could do
Like,
like
that's
I could do
delicious.
like some
Refreshing.
sparkling water, like lime or something. But I'm not into mocktails. I feel like it's a waste of calories.
Wait, so what happened
so
at
I
this
went
party?
to this thing, and I was like, they were like, oh, there's no alcohol. It's just these drinks. And the person who worked for the brand was there, so I didn't want to be rude. So I was like, let me drink this rosé and get X amount of calories. But the reason why I bring this up is LeBlanc, and the rosé was so good. I don't even like.
Oh,
rosé.
it was?
And it has she told me like the whole macros on it, like the carb count, the calories. There's no added sugar, and it's natural.
It's made
no
out of grapes?
films, whatever. Yeah, it's like the process
took out
of it,
the
like the
alcohol.
carbonation on there, like how they create the bubbles. Like they're the only company that has it. You guys should really check it out because it really was great. Like it tasted really good, and I just kept myself to 1 glass because I didn't want extra calories. But like I said, when she told me the calories and the sugar and the carb.
That's interesting because I've
The
tried
carb count
a
was
few
good.
non-alcoholic wines and I felt that they were disgusting.
No, this was
felt like
good.
I was drinking some like nasty Welch's grape juice.
Yeah, they had
it was like an
but I just
expensive
don't
bottle.
like champagne, so I didn't drink it.
Oh, that's interesting.
The rosé
So
was
LeBlanc,
very
I will
good.
definitely keep that in mind. And LeBlanc, if you would like to sponsor us for plugging you,
Yes.
let us know. Okay, so before we wrap this up, there's some other things that I feel like we need to talk about for 2024, or just like that I think that would be helpful to other people is on my goal list is reading. I'm not a big reader in general because I learn from experience or I learn from listening. So I'm really happy that audiobooks are out.
From listening. Oh, okay. I'm listening to audiobooks.
Listening to audiobooks. I think, and I had this conversation with a follower, and she said, how can, she goes, my friends are not into growth. When I tell them things or suggest things, they kind of brush it off and think like, whatever. So they're kind of stuck in this hamster wheel of where they are and they're not growing. She was like, how can I grow but have the same friends, you know? Because sometimes when you get older and you're changing and you're growing, you kind of shed old friends. If they're not growing with you, you kind of just grow apart. So I think another great resource, if you are not around or living in a city and you can't find new friends or mentors, I think there are so many resources for us to learn from and grow. I think podcasts are definitely one of them. Reading is so helpful. And now if you're like me and you're not a big reader, I have this new app that I am obsessed with. I just told it to Angela when I got back. I found it when I was in Prague, but it's called Headway. And so what it does is it's like Cliff Notes on steroids. It summarizes some of the best books that are out there.
Yeah, because you this week said, "Oh, I read 5 books this week."
I'm like, yeah, I'm reading like crazy because I don't have time to read an entire book.
She was reading before, and I stopped reading for leisure a couple of years ago. I started doing audiobooks. Like I love
an audiobook.
So when I started doing audiobooks, I was like telling her about certain books. I was like, oh, you should like read this book. I read this book. And I was like, well, not really read it, but I had the audiobook. She's like, audiobooks, huh? Like she like really looked down on me. Like,
because I feel like you need to train your brain.
I mean, I do love like going through pages. I love having a book, but at the end of the day, I just don't have time to do it because I'm just super busy. So if I don't do an audiobook, I'm not going to read at all. So unless I'm on like a vacation or something.
Right.
But I was into audiobooks, and the fact that you looked down on me, and now you're doing Cliff Notes of audiobooks.
I really cut it short. Short, guys. I have goals on my list. I had to cut it short. But
that's your thing.
15 minutes a day. So with this app, you can not only read these chapters, so they will condense the entire book. They will pull out and extract all the important information out of the book, so you're not reading some of the fluff. Obviously, some of these books have great stories where you kind of want to read some of that fluff, but a lot of the books are filled with...
These are like self-help books.
Yeah.
Though, right?
No, I do all kinds of...
You can't read like Game of Thrones
No.
There's
no fiction or, nonfiction books or anything like that. Fiction. Yeah, there's no fiction books.
I was confused too. Nonfiction.
Yeah, nonfiction, fiction. You understand. But there's a lot of self-help books. There's manifestation books. There's just go on it and kind of browse. Parenting, things about parenting on there, tech, etc. But you can also listen. So now what I'm doing is I'm actually listening to the book and reading it with the person. Just because I need to train my...
The Cliff Notes.
Yeah, I'm reading the Cliff Notes, and I need to train my brain and my eyes to continuously see words. Because when I'm on text message, I find myself like not typing out words or forgetting how to spell because of autocorrect. Like you asked me how to spell visualize yesterday.
Because I was in a funk yesterday. I couldn't really think straight.
But it's not that you don't know how. It's just kind of like we've gotten lazy because we have all these tools that help us now, right? Yeah. So I think it's a really great app. It's harder than we thought to read all the time. Like some people do it, but I'm super busy.
So you're adding reading to your list.
So I'm adding reading to my list. And I think another takeaway is do something in 2024 you've always wanted to do or try. It doesn't necessarily have to deal with your career. So for example, I really want to commit to tennis. Like I really cannot play tennis. I can't seem to pick it up, but I'm determined to try some basic tennis. So I have a indoor tennis court that's not too far from me that has lessons. I want to commit to 1 to 2 times a week during the winter because it's indoor. So like go play like 1 hour, go play, go do something. And another thing that's on my list that I really want to do is I want to learn Spanish. I think it's embarrassing that I'm Puerto Rican. Half my family speaks Spanish. My mother spoke Spanish, and I don't speak it fluently at all. Like I only know a few words.
Maybe we should do it together. Not Spanish. Maybe I should pick up Korean.
I think we should learn. There's this app called Tataki. And
For all languages?
all languages. And the thing that I liked about it is that you can hire these tutors in the country that you want. So if Korea, like they live in Korea and they speak with that dialect. Like I want someone to teach me Spanish, but I want a Puerto Rican woman to teach me, and I want to hear her dialect, and I want that tone, because all Spanish is obviously not created equal. Tortilla. It's all tortilla. Like there's also so many different things. She always makes fun of me for saying tortilla. By the way,
that's the only thing she
aguacate and tortilla and cilantro. Like these are some things that she always she's like.
I think it makes her feel more like
those are words that my mom would say.
Yeah, but those are only 3 you know.
I know, but those are when she cooked. And like my family says the words like that. So those are that's like how I remember it.
Yeah.
Anyways, try something that you would not normally do.
I'm gonna challenge myself.
Like if you want to take piano, take piano.
Yeah.
Like and commit to it. It doesn't have to be for a long period of time, but see if you can pick something in 2024 that you've always wanted to do that will either make you feel better yourself, and commit to it.
Okay, well, that's what we're going to do for 2024. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Yes, we'll see you next week. And hopefully your New Year is starting off great.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Harder Than We Thought. You can catch us every Monday with episodes that will help you get through your week.
Please don't forget to subscribe and make sure you leave a review, because we would love to hear from you. You can also follow us on social at Harder Than We Thought.